Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Vees Views here on castanet.net. I'm your host, Fraser Rogers, alongside head coach Fred Harbinson of the Penticton Vees. Fred, another bounce back for your hockey team, not only Friday but Saturday as well. Beating Merritt on Friday and then beating West Kelowna on Saturday, and both on the road. And I guess the major key was the first periods in both games. 4 goals Friday and then another 3 on Saturday.
Yeah, we talked about our start, and then clearly we worked on goal scoring last week when you get shut out at home. We weren't too happy about that, and we just so we try to put a little more importance on finishing our plays around the net and score 4 in the first there in Merritt, where it's not easy to score sometimes, and then you get 3 goals in 44 seconds, I guess, in West Kelowna against a real good team there.
Is it kind of like the egg or chicken? What comes first when it comes to confidence? Does scoring breed confidence, or does confidence breed scoring? Because it seemed like a real confident group.
Yeah, probably a little bit of both. I mean, yeah, absolutely. There were some guys, Ben Brar gets a couple, Clacker gets a couple, and these are guys that we talk to, specifically about that, they're getting their opportunities and finding ways to finish. And you got Johnson on the back end, chipping in from the back end, which was nice to see too. So a lot of work ahead of us here. We're now having a home game against Surrey, who's been kind of hot and cold at times, and then going on the road to 2 tough places in Vernon and Wenatchee.
You're just talking about that depth. Kind of my next question. You see Kenny Johnson scored 2, a blue liner. You see more production from the blue line this weekend and this past weekend with guys getting assists as well. Is that encouraging to see that production coming from the back end?
It's something we need. You look around the league and you look around in hockey in general. You need, to be successful, you need some points out of your back end, and everybody's trying to find it and manufacture your offense. And so you can't just come from your forward group. And our group this year, like we've been saying, it's a lot different than maybe it was a year ago and more, but like 2 years ago. So, whenever we can get a goal or here or there from our blue line would be important.
Talk about that Wednesday game against Surrey, and it's a team that's kind of been Jekyll and Hyde. They've been a team that's been a powerhouse offensively, beating Wenatchee recently at home, and then having some tough results as well. Could that be a bit of a trap game because you have a couple big ones on the weekend as well, and not look ahead before the Wednesday game?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that their last 2 seasons have been really poor. I mean, it goes without saying, and so they fell on tough times. So what happens is a lot of people around town want to talk, it's just Surrey. Well, they're a much different team, and they've proven they can beat the best teams in the league, and that's all that matters. You've got 2 players on their roster that we let go earlier this year or moved, and they're both great, fantastic kids, and are going to want to come back in here and prove to us that they want to sort of take it to us, and they got a power play that's number 1 in the league. So there's a lot of positives on their end, and if we're not at our best bringing an A game, it'll be trouble for us.
And lastly, this weekend, meaty schedule for your hockey team, going to Vernon for the first time, and then Wenatchee, top team, 2nd place overall, and top team in the mainland division. Is that exciting to kind of go in 2 tough environments again for this team?
Yeah, I think so. You've got a big rivalry game with Vernon, and they're a physical team as usual, and I think they're a much better team than maybe even their record indicates, and they're a lot better team than they were a year ago. It should be a fun night in there in Vernon, like it always is, and then going to Wenatchee, again, one of the best teams in the entire league, and someone you want to try to match yourself against, and in both cases to kind of see where you fare come the end of the year.
Well, big week for the Vees and a big night coming up tonight. Vees Fight Cancer Night at the SWC against the Surrey Eagles. This has been another edition of Vees Views with head coach Fred Harbinson on castanet.net.